Am I the a-hole for being disrespectful and telling my parents? Good luck with that when they tried to ground me? I live at home while going to university. I'm in my final year and I have a job lined up after I graduate. My parents have been charging me rent since I was 16. I have a small company that makes me about $60,000 a year. I started it in high school. It is one of the reasons I graduated early from high school and why I got attention from recruiters. My parents said that since I was earning adult money, I could take in adult responsibilities. I thought that was fair, so I paid for all my own stuff starting at age 16. Not university. I got a scholarship, and the rent they charged me was minor, $300 a month. But I basically considered my room to be completely mine after that. I kept it tidy because I like it that way. But they had no say in when I cleaned it, when I did my laundry, other than to not do it at a time when I would disturb the family, for example 3 a.m. I bought food for myself and I ate when I wanted. They tried to say I was separating myself from the family, but I saw it more as having my own schedule. This year for spring break, I went down to Mexico with friends. My parents were upset because they were hosting a big Easter family get-together. When I got back, they said I was behaving badly by not being around for a family gathering. I said it was my last spring break in university and that I was not responsible for their schedule. They said I was grounded and I laughed and said good luck with that. I went to my room and locked the door. They tried banging on it for my attention, but I'm done. My grandfather came over to talk to me later. He is the one who helped me get my company started and he is always there for me. He said that I was rude to my parents when they were trying to be there for me. I asked him how much rent he charged my mom when she lived at home. He said it was ridiculous to think he would charge his kids rent. I told him that I had been paying rent for 4 years. He went into the house and I heard a fight. When he came out, he said that I need to treat my parents with more respect, but that since they are my landlords, they do not have a say over how I spend my time. I'm avoiding my parents for now and I'm renting on Airbnb right now until I graduate. I took everything that was important to me and I left $600 for the last 2 months I had planned on being there. They keep calling me, but I am currently getting ready to move for my new job. I don't have the energy to deal with them.
They tried to ground a grown adult who pays their own bills and works full-time. Yeah, you're not the a-hole, not by a long shot, but why don't you just move out? Legit don't see a reason for you to stay there.
Rent was cheap.
Is it worth dealing with these people though? You seem like you have a good head on your shoulders. I'd call it quits with them.
Sometimes people give their parents more chances than they deserve to stay in their life. This may be part of it.
Not the a-hole. You pay rent and support yourself financially. At that point, you're essentially a tenant with the right to come and go as you please. It's bizarre that they're trying to ground an adult who contributes to the household, not as a dependent child, but as a contributing adult. It seems like your parents are having trouble transitioning from their roles as parental figures with a level of control to landlords, who must respect your autonomy. Going away for spring break was well within your rights, especially as you weren't informed about their Easter plans. If family traditions are that important, communication needs to go both ways. An apology for laughing might be in order simply because it's always nice to be kind, but setting boundaries is crucial here. It might help to have a discussion about expectations on both sides to clear up this tenant versus child confusion. Good luck navigating this. It's a tricky path when family and tenant relationships are intertwined.
Yeah, the parents wanted to have their cake and eat it too. They wanted to treat OP like a full-grown adult at 16, making them pay rent and handle all of their expenses, but they also want to treat OP like a child and a dependent. It doesn't work like that. Not the a-hole at all, and they had it coming to them. Who the fuck makes their 16-year-old pay rent?
Not the a-hole. They crossed a line they drew in the sand. They treated you like an adult with all the adult responsibilities, then wanted to treat you like a kid when it suited them. That doesn't work. When you hand a teen all the responsibility of being an adult, some ego always follows. What did they expect? Someday you may look back and nitpick about the exact words you used to respond. I don't know your parents. Maybe they fully deserved those exact words. Maybe they didn't. Your overall argument and intent though, that was spot on. The fact they hid this from grandpa but wanted to call him to scold you, that tells me they have some of their own faults they don't want to admit to. That tells me this is 99% on them.
Not the a-hole, they're trying to have it both ways. Treat you like an adult when it comes to money, and like a child when it suits them. Just tell them they don't get to make you pay for your life and control it at the same time. They said you were an adult, they should treat you like one.
Am I the a-hole for being honest and telling my daughter that her wedding is a running joke of what not to do if you marry in our family friend group? My daughter got married about a year ago. She spent about $20,000 on her wedding. It was a wonderful experience for her, but for all the guests it really sucked. All the money went to things the couple would enjoy. The reasons it sucked for the guest was due to multiple factors. The biggest ones being that guests had to buy food, drinks, and no entertainment. So people get to the wedding and the ceremony happens. Then they go put into another room after a long day of driving out, don't get any food drink. Most of them were forced to buy overpriced food since they were starving. They didn't even get any cake since the cake was a fake. Overall, not a good guest experience. Afterwards, it was negatively talked about and people were actually quite mad about it. My other daughter is getting married and asked for my help. Her sister offered to help and my other daughter made it clear she doesn't want her wedding to be anything like hers. My daughter asked what she meant by that and I was honest with her. That her wedding wasn't a good experience for guests and it is a running joke at this point with family friends. I thought she already knew since a lot of people hated her wedding. This caused an argument and she called me a jerk by the end. I pointed out all the issues had with her wedding and she thinks I am being cruel. Edit, the money basically went to her dress, venue, and photos. I know her dress was $6,000. The venue was pricey and she didn't get the food package. I was not part of the wedding planning, I was having medical issues.
Info: how the heck does someone spend $20,000 on a wedding and not feed anyone? Also, you totally could have been a touch gentler, but also OMG, I can't even imagine. A fake cake? Do you hate your guests?
Well, her wedding dress was $6,000. I have no idea about how much the venue was, but it didn't come with food. They also got an expensive photos.
Not the a-hole, I'm guessing the $20,000 went to the dress, the photographer, and the honeymoon?
Basically.
At that point you may as well have the wedding with only your parents. It's annoying and disrespectful to the guests.
I really came in here ready to say you are the a-hole based on the title. This was the first time in a long time I was truly wrong. Making guests pay for their food? No entertainment? The cake was a lie? Yeah, if I were a guest, I'd be mad, too. Actually, it would be a story I'd tell for probably the rest of my life. That's a bad wedding. Not the a-hole.
Some people are so self-focused that they either can't or won't see the situation through other people's eyes. Your daughter and her husband sound like this because it should have been obvious to them that they were creating a very poor experience for their guests. If this had just been your opinion, then I might have thought about you being you or the a-hole, but it seems it is a fairly universal opinion. Not the a-hole. Your daughter is now being brought into reality about her wedding. She'll go kicking and screaming because to admit this reality is to admit that she is to blame for it and should have seen it coming. But people like her need a good wake-up call, and this is hers. Hopefully, this is the only wake-up call she'll need. However, people like her tend to fight reality tooth and nail.
What do you think of these stories? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories.